At 2 a.m. there, I was juggling my overnight bag and a half-dead phone just wanting to slip into my cabin and crash for 12 hours straight. You ever get that eerie feeling that the universe is about to test your patience? That was me right at my own front door when my phone rings, unknown number. Now you tell me who calls a grown man at 2 in the morning for anything good. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something in my gut said, pick up, and that's when all hell started to break loose. Who is this? I asked, already fumbling for the porch light. The voice on the other end, Denise Harrow, HOA president, apparently sounded like every angry teacher I ever had rolled into one. She went straight into interrogation mode, demanding to know what I was doing at that hour. I told her flat out, this is my cabin. I'm the owner. Just got back from work, but she wasn't having it. Prove it, she snapped like I was some kid trying to sneak into a bar with a fake ID. You know what I mean? Who expects to have to explain themselves just for coming home? 10 minutes later, 2 cops show up, looking so done with life I almost felt bad for them. I'm there in sweatpants, travel bag, slung over my shoulder, trying to keep it together as Denise comes strutting out in a red silk robe like she's about to host a late-night talk show. She lays into the officers about suspicious activity, her voice dripping with fake concern, and I'm standing there half awake, wishing I'd just ignored the call and gone to bed. Luckily, the younger officer takes one look at my federal ID. Yeah, I work in computer security for the government, which usually gets more questions, not less, and suddenly their whole vibe changes. Sorry, sir, just a mix-up, they mutter, apologizing all the way back to their cruiser. But Denise's face, I'll never forget it. She turned paper white like she'd seen a ghost, not a badge. I thought that'd be the end of it. Spoiler, it wasn't even close. See, Denise didn't just drop it. She doubled down. By sunrise, my inbox had 17 emails, all from her listing off the pettiest violations you could imagine. My car was apparently 2.3 feet from the curb instead of 2.5. She measured, I kid you not. My porch light was excessively bright for mountain atmosphere preservation. Grass too long even though it was February, and there wasn't a single blade showing under all that snow. You gotta laugh to keep from losing it. But here's where it got weird. She started accusing me of running unauthorized surveillance equipment, like I was the FBI staking out the lake. At first, I brushed it off as control freak paranoia, but then I caught her outside at midnight sneaking around the empty lot next to my place with a flashlight and a folded piece of paper checking the ground every few steps. It wasn't nosiness, it was desperation. Whatever Denise was searching for out there, she was scared someone else, maybe me, would find it first. The next morning, I run into Harriet, this gentle old lady in a powder blue coat who lives down the road. She hands me a mug of cocoa, gives me that sad grandma look, and says, I'm sorry about Denise. She changed after her husband died, got suspicious, lost. That's when I realized this isn't just a power trip. Denise is unraveling, and I'm the unlucky guy who happened to walk into her storm. Then she calls an emergency HOA meeting. Whole neighborhood folding chairs, flickering lights. Denise stands up front in her best business suit, clutching a stack of violations. She's got a list parking infractions, mysterious behavior, even claims I threatened her because of my government job. And the crazy part, a few neighbors are actually nodding along, buying into the drama. So I stand up, keep my tone calm and lay it out. I work in security. I bought this place to relax. I've broken no rules, but I've been harassed since I got here. The room's dead quiet. Denise jumps up. What about the surveillance equipment? She shouts, all but shaking. That's when I realize she's terrified not of me, but of what I might uncover. She practically begs the room not to let me investigate anything, which only makes everyone look at her sideways. That night she shows up at my door, no makeup, hair a mess, and shaking so hard I almost didn't recognize her. She admits everything, the emails, the meeting, her paranoia. She tells me she's been spiraling ever since her husband Richard died. But then, almost in the same breath, she actually begs me not to dig into neighborhood business, not to investigate anything, and to just let it all go. Some things need to stay buried, she whispers. And I get the sense she means it literally. Next morning, I wake to the sound of an excavator outside my window. Denise has hired a construction crew unilaterally to dig up the empty lot next to my property. She claims it's a water pipe repair, but she's holding that same battered map I saw her checking in the dark. I call my lawyer, get advice, and give Denise an ultimatum: stop digging, or I'll call the cops and file a lawsuit. She just says, you don't get it. This is bigger than HOA drama. People could get hurt. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what I'm in the middle of anymore. Late that night, she calls and asks me to meet her at the dig site. She's shaking, exhausted, and finally tells me the truth. Turns out Richard had uncovered a massive fraud at his company, millions stolen from federal contracts, fake expenses, the works. He gathered all the evidence, but after he died supposedly of a heart attack, Denise became convinced someone would come after her if they knew about the proof. So Richard buried a drive with everything on it somewhere in that lot and left her the map. 3 years she's been searching for it, losing her mind, terrified that every stranger is there to expose her or get her killed. My federal ID, my security job, it sent her into a tailspin. She thought I was investigating her, maybe even that I was there to clean up the loose ends. Suddenly all the harassment, all the threats, they made a twisted kind of sense. So what would you do? Help her walk away? I called an emergency HOA meeting myself, brought out the emails, the videos of her illegal digging, and her confession about Richard's secret. In front of everyone, the whole story came out. Denise was stripped of her HOA presidency on the spot, unanimous vote. She said she'd move away, start over somewhere new, and just like that, the tension lifted. The neighbors started talking again. People put up holiday lights, kids played in the street. The shadow she'd cast over the place was gone. The day before Denise left, I saw her standing by the lot map in hand, staring at the torn-up earth where she'd spent years searching for closure. When our eyes met, all I saw was exhaustion and maybe, just maybe, gratitude. I thought about all the ways people can lose themselves chasing justice or control, and how sometimes the best thing you can do is just let go. A few weeks later, I'm cleaning out my inbox, getting ready to actually enjoy some peace and quiet, when I find an old message from Reed Keller, a buddy from work who's now some bigwig back in D.C. I call him up, and wouldn't you know it, he's heard all about my HOA incident. The cops filed a report, it made its way up the chain, and suddenly I'm being offered a promotion for the way I handled things. You kept your cool, de-escalated, found the real issue, and didn't make a federal case out of a neighborhood squabble, Reed says. Apparently that's rare. So now, thanks to Denise's meltdown, I'm heading back to D.C. to lead a team protecting infrastructure, hunting down actual threats, and hopefully avoiding any more midnight HOA calls. Life's weird that way. Sometimes the thing that almost drives you nuts turns out to be exactly what you needed. If you're still with me, thanks for listening. What would you have done in my shoes? Ever dealt with a neighbor who went from annoying to unhinged and then turned out to be hiding something way bigger than anyone guessed? Drop your wildest HOA stories or just your 2 cents about community justice down in the comments. Did I do the right thing? Or should I have just kept my head down and let sleeping secrets lie? Let's hear your take, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that every small town has a story, and sometimes the weirdest ones change your whole life.